Cartoon Network's Tubi Takeover is the gift that keeps on giving. At this point, they're just embarrassing HBO Max, as they're coming in hot with not only a buttload of Cartoon Network shows, but also movies and specials, a lot of which never made it to Max. Some you may have forgotten or have never even seen before. So let's talk about it. Right off the bat, I want to clear up some questions and confusion that I've seen in my comments on my last video talking about Cartoon Network and Tubi, as I saw a lot of things like, I'm looking at Tubi right now and there's nothing there, or just wondering which shows from this massive catalog will be available when all these shows do finally arrive. So just so we're all on the same page, the Cartoon Network, Hanna-Barbera, and Warner Bros animated shows will make their way to Tubi on March 1st. That's this upcoming Sunday, not a second sooner or later. I think I said that in the video, but I understand people watch these in other tabs or on their phone. They're not always paying attention. It's easy to miss a detail or two. As for what will actually be available on March 1st, according to Tubi themselves, it'll be Animaniacs, Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans, The Batman, Classic Ben 10, Pinky and the Brain, Justice League, Batman the Brave and the Bold, Dexter's Lab, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage, Tasmania, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Codename Kids Next Door, The Mask, and Yogi's Gang. But wait, there's more. While all the other shows we went over in the last video will have a gradual rollout to the platform, we did learn that a couple of movies and specials will be available on the platform come March 1st. These are Dexter's Lab Ego Trip, The Powerpuff Girls Rule, The Powerpuff Girls Twist of Fight Before Christmas, Edda and Eddy's Hanky Panky Hullabaloo, that's the Valentine's special, Edda and Eddy's Boo Ha Ha, that's the Halloween special, and Ed, Edd and Eddy's Big Picture Show, which is of course the movie. These acquisitions already blows whatever HBO Max was trying to do out of the water, mostly because these shows will actually be complete. I do think Powerpuff Girls had a complete collection for a second there, but if I recall, Ego Trip and all the Ed and Eddy specials were omitted from Max because they have separate licenses from the main series. That's why every now and then you'll see the Powerpuff Girls specials pop up on Netflix, chillin' as their own thing separate from the main series. Netflix wants to get some Powerpuff in there, keep some subscribers satiated with a taste of childhood without spending too much cash renewing their license for the main series. HBO Max, despite being owned by the same parent company as Cartoon Network and using Cartoon Network's classic catalog as a hook back in the day, never felt the need to get the licenses for all the specials and films of all their shows. I guess even back in 2020 when they were somewhat interested in animation, they still didn't see the value in a complete experience. You got a couple specials from the really big shows and that's it. And if you're wondering why these specials are separate licenses, it's just because they are produced independent of whatever season they aired in. Nowadays, they'll just use an episode in a show's order on a holiday special, and that was even the case for a lot of shows back then, but I'm guessing that every now and then, someone at the network thought, what if we roll out a Valentine's special for this show, and this show next year, and if they already have their episodes locked in, we'll just have it produced independent of that season. Just a little bit of TV trivia for ya. Anyways, seeing this makes me really happy because it shows that Tubi is seemingly interested in getting everything, even if it has to trickle in, especially because, odds are, people missed out on some of these installments. Some of these shows ran for a long time, man. Ed, Edd and Eddy was on for a damn decade, and there's so many people who still don't know Big Picture Show exists because maybe they were a teen when the show premiered, and they fell off from cartoons by the time the movie came around, or they just missed it for one reason or another. I can confidently say it wasn't exactly the most well-advertised thing in the world. As someone who was glued to the TV in 2009, you either had to catch the right commercial break to know it was coming, or you were in the loop through the internet that the movie was finally airing. And in that case, you probably already watched it on YouTube in 10 parts. But now nostalgic adults and newcomers alike are gonna crack open the Cartoon Network collection and go, there's a movie? And experience what's to them 90 minutes of brand new Ed, Edd and Eddy, one that wraps up the series in an extremely satisfying way. And I just think that's a really cool thing for people to have right now. Getting a temporary escape from the world and indulging in childlike wonder. Rediscovering a series they used to love growing up and finding out that, oh shit, I never actually saw how this all played out. I feel like the Powerpuff Girls Rule also fits into that. This was another special that was so easy to miss back in the day. And even if you caught it, it might not have stuck with you because you naturally weren't exposed to it as much as any other episode of the show. The Powerpuff Girls was already long over by this point, so if you were someone someone who moved on from cartoons. How on earth were you supposed to know that this existed? Once again, it just shows that they care, man. They recognize the value of Cartoon Network's legacy, and they want to preserve it in a way that's accessible to everyone. That lives in the United States at least. Y'all got a better HBO Max lineup though, so I think it all works out. Though I am curious if or when we'll see other specials and movies for these shows pop up, because these are just specials and movies for 3 of the shows that are coming on March 1st. But that means they're gonna be missing things like Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo, Ben 10 Secret of the Omnitrix, Foster's Good Will Hunting and Destination Imagination, and who could forget Kids Next Door Operation Zero. You can't leave us hanging with these, but considering how well Tubi has treated us so far, I'm gonna remain optimistic. Also, now that movies are on the table, one thing I would love to see is for Tubi to really go all out and get some of the deeper cuts of the Cartoon Network library. Like what, you may ask? Well, 2 titles come to mind: Fire Breather and Party Wagon. Fire Breather was a banger backdoor pilot of a movie that honestly deserved better. We should have gotten a full show, while Party Wagon is something I've admittedly never seen, but am very interested in, as it was created by Craig Bartlett, the creator of Hey Arnold. It's so surreal seeing something that has the Hey Arnold art style on a network that's not Nickelodeon, and I think that surreal charm would carry over to streaming. In general, these are 2 pretty forgotten projects from Cartoon Network that I think would find a new audience on Tubi. Since they're pretty underrated, I can't imagine they'd be that expensive, right? Of course, there's always a chance they've gotten written off for taxes, so I don't know how that would work with streaming. Symbiotic Titans is a show that got written off, but was still on Netflix for a little bit back in 2020, so it's pretty unclear. I'd also love to see them embrace some of the live-action movies. You got Ben 10 A Race Against Time and Ben 10 Alien Swarm, 2 made-for-TV films that I think would actually be pretty popular on Tubi. They'd be an attraction because they offer both nostalgia and curiosity. Like, if you've seen Ben 10 but have never seen these before, you're probably gonna think, this looks like shit, let's watch it! Meanwhile, if you grew up with them, you might be like, I don't remember if this was good or absolute garbage. Let's watch it! And there's also Reanimated, a movie that spawned a short-lived television series out of Jimmy's head. Another weird experiment from Cartoon Network. A live-action sitcom with 2D characters sprinkled in, all because he inherited the brain of a bargain bin Walt Disney. I can already assume that guy's not neurotypical, but if he's seen cartoons, there's probably something else going on. I don't think this is just a good imagination, bro. Now, Reanimated and Out of Jimmy's Head may not be appealing to Tubi at all because, they were pretty bad, but still, they're a part of Cartoon Network's history, so I'd love to see them represented. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. What specials do you hope make their way to Tubi? Let us know in the comments down below, and keep the conversation going by giving me a follow over on Twitter and Instagram at OstricFox and at RoundtableVids. If you enjoyed this video, please sort to like and subscribe to the Roundtable with notifications on so you never miss a video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Peace!
What we do here is go back.
Need something to throw on while you draw, study, or sleep? Roundtable Rewind's got you covered. So why not take a stroll down memory lane and subscribe?
No one can tell me what to do.
See you there.